Alright guys, welcome to my channel, and call me a prophet of doom, but I was right. I did say that I was very suspicious we were going to head into a bear market in September because things were getting a little too good to be true too early, and that seems to be exactly what's happened. So everything's taken a bit of a nosedive. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you name it, it's been diving. Some bigger than others as well, which obviously presents buying opportunities, especially if you've got spare liquidity and you were prepared for it. Now, as I mentioned, had a shite month when it came to generating liquidity from the business side of things and income. So I had to box clever a little bit before it and bank on the fact that this had probably happened. So I was able to take some profits and free up some liquidity to be able to buy the dips, which is including up in my Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. So I'm quite pleased with that. But let me know in the comments, have you been buying? Were you expecting a bear market? I know very few people were talking about it happening and were sort of overconfident, led into that belief that because it didn't happen at the start of September, it wasn't going to happen. And for me, I was looking at the prices and I was really, let's say, feeling like being very careful because the prices of alts especially and everything else were hitting highs that were very, very fragile, and lo and behold, something had to give, and it began with one thing that was expected, and then it's continued to go down. Now, for me personally, I'm hoping things continue to fall a little bit longer because I will get more liquidity through the door in the next week or so. So I need it to keep doing it a bit longer so I can buy in preparation for the next leg up. But yes, I said it was all to, if you watch my previous videos, I did say that what happened on Monday wasn't enough to be frightening anybody, and for us to take the next leg up, it needs to frighten people. And I talk a lot about psychology, and that hadn't hit a psychological level where anybody's going to be worried. Everybody would just be holding through that, going, yeah, it's a bit of a dip, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. So it could get a little bit worse before it gets better, maybe a lot worse before it gets better. Who knows? Maybe we might see some alts going as low as they have gone this year, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be that much of a shock. Maybe not. Maybe just shy of it, just enough to make people think it will do that. Could be the in-between. So that's where I'm banking on things happening. I've managed to get rid of a little bit more AVAX just to free up a little bit more liquidity. Still all nicely in profit, so I took some profits there. So if things do never return, which to a lot of people, me included, seems unlikely, at least I've banked some profits, and if not, hopefully I'll have the liquidity to buy in a little bit cheaper than it was at the start of the week, and hopefully get some more AVAX as well as having my cake and eating it. When you've got limited funds like most of us do, we don't have infinite amounts of money, so that means we don't have infinite choices on what we can buy at any one time. We have to be sensible about it. It means that I've had to make little sacrifices here and there just to rotate into things that perhaps safe for long term, and things that I would be buying long term anyway, which Bitcoin is always number one. So if I can get Bitcoin on a dip, I'm going to start spending on Bitcoin. It's quite a strange thing that happens. Prices come down, we're in alt season, I rotate into Bitcoin because you know, I'm not totally rotating into Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, because I'm riding alt season at the moment. That's the plan, so I can then put that money into Bitcoin. But you've got to take advantage of these moments when they happen, and that's what I'm doing right now. And I mean, has anybody else been taking advantage of Bitcoin and Ethereum? Now, I know there could be a bit more of a dump on the horizon for Ethereum, what with that information about mind you, maybe it's occurred now as well. The information about the unstaking going on, but you never know when it's going to shoot back up. So I've just got to. It's really a balancing act. You know, we're not talking huge sums here, so I've got a bit more Ethereum. I'm up a bit more on Bitcoin, and that is important. And then a few things that have dropped significantly. I've swept up some extra bits and pieces of those as well. I mean, what's your activity been in this dip period? Let me know in the comments. I mean, are you expecting it to get worse before it gets better? I think it could, because it's going to be shaking a few people right now, but again, I think there's going to be a proper little shakeout to really sort the weak hands, and then it'll push on upwards. Anyway, that's all I've got to say on what's been happening in the last couple of days and today. Do take a moment to leave a like, and do subscribe as well, because there's plenty more to come, and I'm going to be talking about ways of making sure you're looking after your money and beating inflation, and also more about my road to 1 Bitcoin and alt season, of course. And for all you Casper buyers out there, I've got a video coming up tomorrow about Casper and about some bad advice that is out there that might be costing you not only profits, but if you insist on buying Casper, it could be costing you possibly double Casper. You could get double Casper if you hadn't just kept buying and buying and buying, and being in this FOMO mentality that certain people are encouraging, and those certain people are probably in a very big mess themselves at this moment in time, and are more trying to convince you. Well, when I say convince you, they sound like they're trying to convince you, but I think they're trying to convince themselves more than anybody else. Anyway, watch this space. That video is on its way. Catch you later, guys. Bye bye.